Coming to you live from Ursprung Gymnasium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. Welcome inside our first coverage of the season of Baldwin Wallace men's basketball. It's the 3-0 Yellow Jackets in a non-conference game against the Trine Thunder, who are 2-1 on the season, hailing from the Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association. Brendan Gulick with you for the play-by-play this afternoon. Hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving holiday. It's great to be back inside Ursprung Gymnasium for the first time this season as the Yellow Jackets get ready for a non-conference tilt to warm them up for one of their biggest games of the season coming up on Saturday afternoon when they will host the nationally ranked Marietta Pioneers, who were preseason number 17 in the country, and they've gotten off to a fast 3-0 start, as opposed to the other ranked team in the Ohio Athletic Conference, the John Carroll Blue Streaks, who were preseason number 11 in the country. They've gotten off to a poor start with an 0-2 record. Baldwin Wallace was actually preseason picked third in the OAC behind those same two schools, and with a 3-0 start, they're off on the right foot. They had a road win to open the campaign a couple of weeks ago when they finished off the Case Western Reserve Spartans over on the east side of Cleveland, 90-76 in the season opening win. Then the team took the road and they went to Maryland last weekend. They played at St. Mary's in a tournament and beat a good St. Mary's team 75-72 before finishing off with a win over New Jersey City 64-61 to take that early season tournament title. So the Jackets are coming in riding high into their home opener, and they are hoping that Cam Kuhn can continue to play well. The junior guard from Vermilion leads the team with 18.3 points per game, checking in at third in the conference so far in the regular season. Kuhn, a really good junior player, and he's the kind of guy that wants to work underneath. He probably is confident enough to shoot free throws, even though the free throw numbers aren't too great, and he will let it fly every once in a while from beyond the arc, but not a particularly good three-point shooting percentage. He's hit only 2 of 13 so far this season. He has been a really good tag team, though, with junior forward, his classmate Jake Featherolf, who's actually fifth in the conference, having connected on 54% from beyond the arc. He's hit 7 of his 13 threes. Jake is actually second on the team, 15.3 points per game. So Featherolf and Kuhn, the top two scorers for the Yellow Jackets, who last year had a good season in their first year under head coach Tom Heil, but they have high hopes for the 2016-2017 campaign, and it starts here at home, at least late this afternoon. On the other side, you're talking about a Trine team that the last couple of years has been very good. 18-9 a year ago. They were 17-9 2 seasons ago. Last year lost the MIAA title game when they fell short of Alma. The Alma Scots, of course, had a tremendous tournament run last year. They actually went on the road in the NCAA tournament to John Carroll across town, and they beat John Carroll in the second round of the NCAA tournament. They ended up going on to the Sweet 16. So the MIAA has long been known for being a strong conference in men's basketball. Of course, other opponents in the MIAA, schools like Hope, Calvin, Kalamazoo, schools like that. There are 8 schools in the Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association, and Trine has definitely been one of the top basketball programs in that conference. They are challenging themselves in the preseason by scheduling several Ohio Athletic Conference teams. They play Baldwin Wallace, Wilmington, Ohio Northern, and Heidelberg in non-conference action before they get into their MIAA slate. Trine on the season led by one of the top 30 scorers in the country, Will Dixon, almost 25 points per game. He's made the third most field goals of any player in Division III basketball. There's 416 Division III basketball teams, so keep your eye on Will Dixon. He's a senior from Indianapolis. Kyle Dodson, Miles Copeland have also had good seasons for the Trine Thunder. We'll take a quick timeout for the national anthem. When we come back, we'll give you the starting lineups and have the opening tip for the first time at home in 2016. Yellow Jacket basketball right around the corner on BWYellowJackets.com. Time to introduce the starting lineups on BWYellowJackets.com as Trine and Baldwin Wallace get ready to tangle in a non-conference early season showdown. First for the visiting Trine Thunder, who are 2-1 and coached by Brooks Miller in his 6th season at Trine. At guard, a senior from Zionsville High School in Indianapolis, Will Dixon. At guard, a sophomore from Centerville, Indiana, Kyle Dodson. Freshman guard from Elkhart, Indiana, Langston Johnson. He's had a nice season in his collegiate debut. And then two other big fellas. Number 34 is Ellis Cummings. He is a 6'8" junior forward from Ottawa Hills, Indiana, or I should say Ottawa Hills, Michigan. And finally, number 35, a senior forward from Sacramento, California, Adam Suzuki. Dixon, Dodson, Johnson, Cummings, and Suzuki for Trine. For the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets and head coach Tom Heil in his 2nd season leading the program. At guard, a senior point guard from Hudson High School, 6 foot, 175 pounds, Zach Brandy. A sophomore guard from Lincoln High School down in the Columbus area, Jay Battle. 6'5", 225-pound junior forward from Medina, Mike Kaminsky. And then the two big fellas for Baldwin Wallace, Cam Kuhn, the junior guard from Vermilion, and Jake Featherolf, the 6'7" junior forward from Norwalk. So it's Brandy, Battle, Kaminsky, Kuhn, and Featherolf for Baldwin Wallace. BW, you could see, has the white tops and the yellow numbers on. And Trine will be in their visiting navy, gold, and white. Keith Johnson, Chris Nelson, and Brad Wilkins are officials this afternoon. Our game today brought to you by Valley Ford Truck. When you need a big job done, call Valley Ford Truck. We carry the load for BW. Also by the Oreo Cafe, a great place for sports, located just 2 minutes up the street here from BW's campus. Jackets getting ready to jump center and open the home court part of the season here in 2016 with their early unbeaten record on the line. Cummings wins the opening tip. Off we go in Berea. Trine has shown an ability early in the season to put points on the board, 74 points per game. Their only loss came to the number 8 ranked team preseason in the country, the Ohio Wesleyan Battling Bishops. 3-ball flown from the left side. Kyle Dodson has an early triple, and Baldwin Wallace surrenders a deep ball. That's also something BW hasn't done much of this season. In fact, as they almost turn it over in the backcourt, and then they do throw it out of bounds. That should go Trine's way. Baldwin Wallace, again, out of the 416 teams that play D3 basketball, they are 16th in the country in their three-point defense. So they typically don't give up too many long balls in terms of their field goal percentage. 22.6% of the time an opponent hits. Dodson fake from 3, gave up to Dixon. He is the leading scorer despite his 6-foot stature. To the left side now where Suzuki found a lane. He goes up and under for 2. Suzuki, his first 2 of the night. Battle into the forecourt, going to the right side. Underneath, nice little move, and Featherolf capitalizes his first couple points of the game. 5-2 lead for the Trine Thunder. Opening couple of minutes of play. I'll tell you what, Trine actually looks like they traveled pretty well. The bus rolled in fairly late, given that it's Saturday after Thanksgiving. They showed up only about an hour before the opening tip. Beautiful drop underneath, but Cummings couldn't find the bottom of the bucket. Ball rolls out of bounds in front of the Yellow Jacket bench. It was definitely a late arriving crowd, but nevertheless, they've shown up. And, most of them sitting across the way from where we are. They're sitting behind the benches. Brandy from just beyond the arc pulls it out. Senior guards really had a nice career. Here's a 3-ball from Featherolf, and he puts it in. Jake Featherolf, an early triple, and he ties the game at 5 apiece. 17:50 left in the opening half. Blocked by Battle. Beautiful job, and then the Yellow Jackets nearly got it back. But Will Dixon was still in the vicinity, picked it up and put it in. Will Dixon's got 5. It's 7-5 Trine. Battle was kneeling during the national anthem, as has been the case by lots of athletes all across the country of late. Zach Brandy puts in a bucket, his first 2 points, and BW reties the game at 7 apiece. Battle's had a nice season so far, 10 points a game, 3.5 rebounds a night. He's taken decent care of the basketball, though he does lead the team in turnovers, only averaging a couple a game. 3 minutes gone, tied early on between two teams projected to be pretty high in their respective conferences. Dodson has to hurry, 5 to shoot. He gives to Dixon, drives the right side, fades on Battle, and he banks it in. Will Dixon showing off early. He's got 7 of the 9 for Trine. Pretty nice start for that young man as Battle puts in a triple. And it's Battle's first 3 of the game. BW has its first lead at 10-9 with 16:30 left in the opening half. Crossover by Dixon. He finds Dodson left side. Suzuki looking for Cummings. He raises, and it rattles over the top, no good. Pulled down by Mike Kaminsky, the junior from Medina. Trying with a couple subs waiting, but so far nobody has checked in. Featheroff's turnaround from the left baseline off the mark. 4 minutes gone, BW with a 1-point lead. Dixon pulls up and bangs it in. Will Dixon off to a hot start. He's averaging almost 25 points per game, and he is flying out of the gate. Got the first, I should say 9 of the first 11 for the Trine Thunder. Good, strong move to the basket, but couldn't quite finish. Racing back the other way. Dixon gets the friendly roll. Will Dixon just having his way with 11 points in the opening 5 minutes. Battle for 3. Too short. Clanks off the front of the cylinder. Langston Johnson pulls in the rebound and finds Dodson in transition. Dodson did not have the size advantage, but forced up a tough shot anyways. Trine by 3, 5 minutes in. Cam Kuhn looking for some space. Kaminsky digs it underneath. Featheroff backing down. Kaminsky the jumper, and it's in. His first deuce of the game. And BW's within 1 at 13-12. Jackets have certainly stretched the floor a little bit better than Trine has, as we see 5 new players waiting to check in. Johnson hands it off up top. Suzuki backpedals. Johnson, spot up 3. Just off the mark. Good offensive glass, though, and Cummings went up. Everybody got tied up underneath. It becomes a jump ball. And with 14-14 left in the first half, we're going to see several substitutions. Trine brings Jordan Craiglow, Cameron Harrington, and I believe Jared Dishop. Nope, check that, Miles Copeland checked in. So we'll try to reset the floor for you here in a moment once everybody gets settled. Cam Kuhn is still in the game. Alex Nara, the freshman from Mayfield, is checked in. Kyle Nader, a sophomore from Vermillion and a good scorer, he's in there. This is Nader driving the left side, kicks it out. Kuhn with a little reluctancy to go to his left hand. Now he's trapped underneath the basket, steps on the baseline. Though the Thunder force a turnover. BW hasn't had much of a lead in this game. They've only led once. And now Kuhn checks out as well. Want to keep your eye on freshman Michael Quiring, who had a tremendous high school career at Brunswick High. 3-ball coming from Dodson, and he puts it in. 16-12 is on his first 3 points of the day. Quiring circling underneath. Kuhn bumped and one. Cam Kuhn with one coming from the free throw line. They hit Jared Dishup on the foul, his first. It's the first foul of the entire game. Cleanly played game so far here. Approaching midway through the first half. Good. So Cam Kuhn with 3 points. Only player on the floor at the moment for Baldwin Wallace who's got anything in the scoring column. Jackets nearly forced a turnover but couldn't keep up the energy. Craiglow back to the left side now, and Harrington. Dodson for three. He's too strong. Tipped back his way, and then a second time deflected out by Baldwin Wallace's Jordan Richardson. Well, we're almost 7 minutes into the first half, and it's been a pretty evenly matched game thus far. Trine's hit 7 of 12. BW 6 of 9 from the floor. There's only been 2 turnovers and 1 total foul as we get a few new faces out there. On the inbound, Dixon gets a high screen from Cummings. Finds Craiglow. Good lockdown man-to-man defense. Cummings pumps and can't finish. Rebound pulled in by Alex Nara. Jackets are on the move, looking for the lead. Tyler Colombo swings it around to the right corner. A drive and a layup and a bucket. Kyle Nader gives the Jackets their first lead since 10-9. It's now 17-16 on Nader's first 2 of the game. Good strong effort underneath the basket from Miles Copeland, but he never finished. Quiring working it around the other side. And it's deflected out of bounds. It stays with Baldwin Wallace. You can see Tom Heil pacing up and down his sideline in front of the bench. He's kind of motioning to one of his guys to fake high and then throw a bounce pass somewhere. Quiring's open for 3. Way off the mark, but it was rebounded underneath, and the Jackets draw a big-time foul. Jordan Richardson going to the free throw line. He's bumped by Ellis Cummings, his second, or I should say his first, team second. Nearing the halfway point of the first half, Baldwin Wallace by 1, and it will stay that way. Today's Yellow Jacket basketball game brought to you by Cleveland Clinic Sports Health. They are the official healthcare provider for Baldwin Wallace Athletics. By American International. When you require a company with proven performance, rely on American International. And by the Courtyard Marriott and Town Place Suites in Middleburg Heights, just a few minutes up the road from campus. Richardson puts 1 in, so he makes it an 18-16 Yellow Jacket lead. Johnson looking left. Miles. Good ball fake from Craiglow, but defensively the Jackets look pretty good so far. Even though Trine is shooting at a high percentage, they haven't gotten a lot of easy. On a 6-0 run at the moment. They lost it out of bounds, but it stays with the brown and gold. Here comes Kyle Dodson back in the game. Beautiful pass underneath, and it rolls on through for Alex Nara. 20-16, and the Jacket run now goes to 8-0. Dodson has 6, Dixon has 8. They've got 14 of the 16 for Trine. Suzuki has the other 2, and it was the first bucket of the game. Up top for 3, Craiglow hit it. Jordan Craiglow with just his 3rd 3 of the year. He's 3 of 14 from beyond the arc. 20-19 to put a stop to that mini 8-0 run. 10:40 left in the the first period. Baldwin Wallace works into the post. Little trail pass back to the top for Quiring. That was deflected. And it should stay with Baldwin Wallace since the shot was tipped on the way out. Well, the game is certainly moving at a good clip. Nobody's called a timeout yet, and with obviously no TV, we don't have to take any official media timeouts under the 16-12, 8-4 marks. On the lob, Featherall tried to tip it over the front of the rim. Just didn't work. Good pass, though, from Quiring anyways. Dixon up the floor. Dodson between the rings. Langston circles up top. Langston Johnson gives off. Dixon had it blocked into the backboard. Great trail block by Alex Nara. Jackets lead by 1. Halfway through the first half. For 3. Don't count that one. Nara off the mark. You tune in late, I'm Brendan Gulick. This is the home opener for Baldwin Wallace. Off to a 3-0 start in 2016 as they give up an easy bucket that time underneath Ellis Cummings for 2, and he's got his first basket of the game. Trine takes the lead back, 21-20. Quiring tries to regain the advantage, and he's off the mark too short. Freshman Michael Quiring averaging 7 points a game, and he's played a lot of minutes as a point guard. Dixon. Boy, it looks like he lost control of it, but instead he touched a pass to a teammate underneath, and it nearly turned into a Trine bucket. Just over 9 minutes left in the first half. BW waiting to put a couple new faces back on the floor. Coming to the ball, catching and running, and can't finish. Colombo tried to spin it home, it didn't work. And the Jackets give up possession. All right, so Cameron Harrington checks in for Trine. Zach Brandy, Jay Battle, and Mike Kaminsky all back on the floor, along with Casey Kuhn, who had already been out there. I think the starting 5 back out on the floor for the Jackets. No, check that. Tyler Colombo still in the game. Dodson gets a screen, fakes like he's going to pass it. Johnson up top, working on Jay Battle. Harrington gives up 6 to shoot it. Trine works it underneath. Dodson working hard on Battle. No foul. A lot of contact. Trine with a 1-point lead. Well battled first half, no pun intended, as Battle gives it up. Into the corner for a nothing but net 3 from Tyler Colombo. Pretty good balance from the Yellow Jackets in the first half. Everybody seems to be cashing in. Brandy's got 2, Battle has 3. Nara, Colombo, Kaminsky, Kuhn, Nader, Featherall, and Richardson all in the scoring column. Right in the middle of the paint. Turnaround did not fall in for Dishop. And Baldwin Wallace with that 2-point edge comes back up the floor. Featherall leads the way with 5 points. Everybody's getting involved on offense for Baldwin Wallace. Great look underneath, but Featherall couldn't finish it. And Trine asks for a timeout. Maybe they don't want to get in the track meet that Baldwin Wallace has started to play. So we've got our first stoppage with 7:31 left in the first half. It's the Yellow Jackets 23 and the Trine Thunder 21. Back in just a moment on BWYellowJackets.com. Trine on the road with a 2-point lead over Baldwin Wallace. Trine has essentially asked Will Dixon and Kyle Dodson to carry the load so far. They've combined for 14 of the Thunder's 21, while Baldwin Wallace has used a very balanced attack so far offensively. First time out of the ball game was just called a minute ago, and it came 12.5 minutes after the opening tip. We've only had 2 fouls. In fact, BW hasn't committed 1 foul the whole game. Little lob underneath, poorly thrown, and it's picked away by Colombo. Battle back to Colombo, right wing, looking underneath. It was bobbled around, and then a foul is called on Trine. That one's going to go on Dodson, who was over-aggressive trying to get after it. His first, team third. Trine's hit 9 of 22 shots so far. Baldwin Wallace 9 of 19, so the field goal numbers are equal. Both teams with 3 triples. Trine has not yet gone to the free throw line, obviously. Kuhn from the baseline puts it in. Cam Kuhn's got 5. BW leads 25-21. It's their largest lead of the game at 4 points. Under 7 minutes to go in the opening half. High off the window, didn't fall for Jordan Craiglow, the sophomore from Gibsonburg, Ohio. He hit a 3 earlier, but that's his only basket of the game. Baldwin Wallace has been patient offensively, and it's paying off for them. Kuhn just left of center. Offensive rebound from Brandy. Boy, I thought he was going to go up with it. And Baldwin Wallace is going to get hit with their first foul of the game. Mike Kaminsky went awfully hard after the basketball. Hold on a second. It goes on Trine. Wow. It goes on Miles Copeland, his first, team 4th. Well, the way the near side official charged after it, I thought he was going after Kaminsky, even though Mike was the one who hit the ground. Trine is awfully active defensively in battle, just can't get away from Miles Copeland. Dixon can't finish at the rim. Copeland tries the putback, no. Harrington the rebound, a third opportunity. And finally, the leading scorer for the Trine Thunder, Will Dixon, puts it home. He's got 10 points in the first half. Under 6 minutes to go, 25-23, Baldwin Wallace. Battle, a dribble and a pass. Kaminsky for 3. Too short. Great box out. He had an open look. Tipped on the way into the paint. Battle got up there and got his hand on it. And the Jackets force a turnover back their direction. Trine's only turned it over twice. BW's only given it over twice. Poked away underneath. Dixon off and running. Good body control, but he doesn't finish at the rim. Credit Kaminsky for pressuring him up the floor. Kind of cherry picking on the way back. Featherolf rolled one out to the right side and a travel. Boy, this has been a really clean game. I think you're seeing 2 teams that are proving their worth. Baldwin Wallace 3-0 overall so far this season. Trine's off to a 3-1 start. Both teams expecting to be very competitive in their conferences, and they're hoping that a strong non-conference schedule would put them in good standing with a national committee come tournament time. This would be a tough road win for Trine. Baldwin Wallace holding their own at home, up 2 late first half. A lot of basketball ahead of us still. BW's been in man all the way through. Here's Dodson, right wing. Swings it over. Craiglow, a triple. He hit from there last time, but misfired this go-round. Nara has another rebound. Top of the arc, good drive from Nader, who gives it off just at the end of the last minute. Jordan Richardson for 2. It's 27-23, and Richardson has his first field goal. BW went on an 8-0 run when they were down 16-12 to go up 20-16, and they've kind of had control of this game ever since that point. Midway through the first half, leading by 4, but most of the game has been played within a small margin. In fact, I think the largest lead for either team has been 6 points. Low left post extended. Kuhn backing out. Cam Kuhn tries to wiggle his way to the rim and had it jarred free. Great defense by Kyle Dodson on the faceoff. 3.5 to go in the first half. A high-scoring Trine Thunder team has been held in check so far in half number one. Craig Lowe, blocked out of bounds. Beautiful block by Jordan Richardson. And Trine's going to bring a little more size back onto the floor. They check Miles Copeland and Jared Dishup, who are 6'6" and 6'5" respectively, back into the game. Copeland went to Toledo St. John's High School, one of the 4 Jesuit high schools in the state of Ohio. Baseline inbound for the Thunder. Try to go right back underneath, and a clear-cut foul on Richardson. Again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but credit to Baldwin Wallace's defense. That's the first foul they've committed all game. We've played almost 17 minutes. Terrific work. That one rolls free in the near side out of bounds, and BW gets it back. Today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game brought to you by Parkway Auto Care in Berea, Strongsville Express Tire and Automotive, and Montville Express Tire and Automotive. We serve the southwestern suburbs of Greater Cleveland. Jackets by 4, trying to add to it. You betcha. Alex Nara with his first 3 ball of the game. It's 30-23, and Baldwin Wallace has really taken command. BW is in the middle of an 18-7 run, which stops with that Miles Copeland and one. He finally gets his first basket of the game. He was hit by Michael Quiring. Quiring's first personal, team's second. 30-25 with Copeland bringing one more from the free throw line in a minute. Just a 65% free throw shooter so far this season, but still a very young year. Featheroff back in there. At 6'7" with the ability to shoot from near the perimeter, he's going to be an important piece for BW in 2016-2017. Copeland connects to complete the three-point play and makes it 30-26 and tightens things back up just a little bit. BW has led this game since they took a 23-21 lead right before Trine's timeout 5 minutes ago. Stays with the Jackets out of bounds on the baseline. Trine called a timeout with 7:31 left in the half, which is almost exactly 5 minutes ago at this point. Well, I guess there is no sub coming in, even though the buzzer sounded. Featheroff with under 10 to shoot it. Cam Kuhn, 3 to shoot. From the right corner, triple coming. Missed the rim entirely, and it's a shot clock violation. Kyle Nader exits, and Jay Battle back into the ball game. Just over 2 minutes left in the first half. Copeland from near the elbow puts it in, pure jumper. Miles Copeland with the last 5 in a row for Trine, and single-handedly he's made this a one basketball game, 30-28. Battle with a bad pass up top, it's turned over. Copeland feeds Johnson, who goes up to Dixon for the easy bucket, and we are tied at 30. Quick 7-0 run for the Thunder. Dixon leads all scorers with 12. All of them field goals. In the right corner, looking for some help. Quiring back to the top to Battle. Minute and a half left in the first half. Kuhn pumps, drives, Featheroff for 3. Just off the mark, but Quiring runs it down. Battle to an open Featheroff underneath. He can't get it to go, but he'll go to the free throw line. Foul on Miles Copeland, his second, team 5th. Featherolf, third in the OAC so far, averaging almost 10 rebounds a game, and he's been really strong from the free throw line, hitting 9 of 10 so far this season. And right on cue, he clanks that one too long. Jake Featheroff from Norwalk High School was named to the Dan Green Memorial Invitational All-Tournament team last week. All-OAC honorable mention performer last year after he made the 2015 All-OAC tournament team. Mike Kaminsky comes back into the ballgame. Featheroff played in a couple of contests a few years ago before missing the rest of the season with an injury, and in the 2 years since then, he has just roared to life. And the Yellow Jackets are going to need him here in 2016. Nice play by Copeland underneath. He finishes, and Trine has the lead back for the first time in quite a while. 32-31, 7 points now for Miles Copeland. Featherolf has 6, looking for more. Give him 2 more. 8 points for Featherolf. It's 33-32. BW back on top. Final 30 of the first half. About an 8-second difference between shot and game clock. And that will nullify with a foul on the floor. It's Baldwin Wallace's 3rd foul of the first half. And it goes on Mike Kaminsky, his 1st. So if Trine wants to hold for the last shot, they can do that. You better believe the Yellow Jackets are going to try to poke it free, though. One more late sub coming in. Brandy checks out along with Featherolf. Kyle Nader, the sophomore guard, the last one to come on the floor. All right, good inbounds pass to Dixon, and he'll pull it back toward the midcourt stripe. Trine is down a point, looking to take the lead into the locker room. Dixon's pretty much right at his average, 12 in the first half. He's just shy of 25 a game. 7 seconds to go. Dixon on Quiring, crosses him up, raises up, and buries it. 34-33, Trine takes the lead into the locker room on the hot hand of the senior Will Dixon. 14 first half points, and Will Dixon gives Trine a 1-point edge, 34-33 at the intermission. We'll be back with some halftime stats in just a couple of minutes on BWYellowJackets.com. Halftime inside Ursprung Gymnasium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's been a really nice first half. Baldwin Wallace and Trine going at it, and as expected, these two teams would play a tight game. 34-33. Trine hit a bucket just before the halftime horn. And so it's the Thunder on top by one, led by Will Dixon, the shifty little 6-foot guard who's been really good shooting the ball from about 12 to 15 feet, and he's hit a couple of layups. 7 of 11 shooting so far for 14 points. Give him 3 assists in the ball game as well. He's been out there more than anybody else, 16 first half minutes. 6 points from Kyle Dodson and 7 from Miles Copeland are essentially the other big hitters for Trine. 2 apiece from Cummings and Suzuki, and then Jordan Craiglow hit a 3, his only bucket of the game. Trine 42.9% from the floor in the first half, 15 of 35 shooting. They hit 3 of 7 from three-point land and buried their only free throw of the game. Baldwin Wallace 45% shooting from the floor. They hit 13 of 29 shots, led by Jake Featherolf. 3 of 7 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3, and he hit a free throw. 8 points, 4 rebounds for Featherolf. Cam Kuhn, 5 points on 2 of 5 from the floor with a free throw. 5 points for Alex Nera. 2 apiece from Brandy Kaminsky and Kyle Nader. 3 apiece from Richardson, Colombo, and from Jake Battle. It's been a well-balanced attack. In fact, Baldwin Wallace has had 9 of their 10 players score so far. Only Michael Quiring hasn't scored. He's missed all 3 of his three-point tries. BW's hit 4 of 13 threes, so 1 more than Trine in 6 more attempts. And the Jackets 3 of 5 from the stripe. BW is +2 on the glass, 19-17. They have 3 more assists, and the Jackets have turned it over 2 additional times. Only 8 turnovers, though, in the first half. It was a clean first half that saw only 8 total fouls. BW's first foul didn't come until the 3.5-minute mark before the second half came our way. So a good, clean first half. Lots of back-and-forth scoring. Both teams had leads for a little while, and Trine basically played from behind the entire second portion of the first half until that final bucket from Will Dixon. Just over 6 minutes away till we get underway for the second half. Come on back for the play-by-play. Trine on the road by 1 on BWYellowJackets.com. Ready for the second half on BWYellowJackets.com. The visiting Trine Thunder with a 34-33 lead as we get rolling. Brendan Gulick with you from Ursprung Gymnasium in the home opener. And it's kind of nice. If you look at the schedule, Baldwin Wallace is going to play a whole lot of home games here in a row. They've got 3 consecutive home games, Trine, Marietta, and Heidelberg, that go to Muskingum on Saturday, December 10th, but then they play 3 straight home games before the BW Invitational, which is going to be held on 29th and 30th of December. And so lots of basketball upcoming for the Jackets and their home floor. A foul by Trine right out of the gate as we get back underway. It goes on Adam Suzuki, his first and team first of the second half. Will Dixon, 14 points. Kyle Dodson had 6 in the first half. 2 of the big hitters for Trine early on. Brandy finds Battle, who's looking for a little help. Double down on the baseline, and he threw it away up top. Dodson picks it up, slings it toward Johnson. Now Cummings turns around, and Trine can't finish. But Dodson's there for the offensive putback, and it missed. Point blank range. Featherolf pulls down the rebound. Battle circling around for the Jackets. Brandy south of the free throw line, dishes off. Cam Kuhn was fouled as he tried to create some space. And Trine has committed 2 fouls in the first minute and 4 seconds of this half. It's on Suzuki again, his second. Miles Copeland back in there. Suzuki had the first 2 points of the game and then hasn't really done much since then. Battle, and that's a reach around foul on Will Dixon. His first, team third. After we had virtually no fouls the entire first half. Trine's hacked BW 3 times in the opening minute and change. Kuhn, an overhead pass up top. It's been man-to-man defense both ways all game. Jay Battle loses his dribble. Finds an open Brandy for 3. 36-34 Baldwin Wallace. Brandy's got 5, but his first basket of the second half. Copeland near side. Now Johnson gives over right wing to Dixon. Back to Johnson in the corner. Drives the baseline, and he stepped on the brown paint. Out of bounds. Brooks Miller, 6th-year head coach for Trine, discussing things with Chris Nelson. Not sure he agreed. Beginning of the second half, and the Yellow Jackets played from behind for basically the first 10 minutes. They had the lead or played from just a couple points back the remainder of the first half. Featherolf underneath, and that is easily an offensive foul. Great draw by Ellis Cummings. Featherolf with his first, team first. So the Trine Thunder back the other direction. High post, Copeland gives it up. Dixon fakes, back to him. Ten to shoot for Trenton. Not a bad idea from Dixon underneath, looking for Cummings, and the pass was just never handled cleanly. So Trine turns it over again here early in the second half. Both teams have seen the shooting percentage dip a little bit with sloppy starts to half number 2. Good look underneath, Featherolf right under the basket. Very well defended by Cummings, and he forced a miss. Langston Johnson back to Will Dixon. Dixon thought he could scoot around Kuhn. He pulls up from the free throw line and missed it short. The rebound pinballs around, and it is off of Trine. Interesting. That looked awfully close to being last touched by Baldwin Wallace. So BW keeps it. Today's Yellow Jacket basketball game brought to you by American International. When you require a company with proven performance, rely on American International. Also brought to you by Domino's Pizza in Berea. Call them at 440-891-0030 or order online at domino's.com. 3-ball, left wing, you betcha. Featheroff makes it 39-34. And Trine still hasn't scored in the opening 3 minutes and change of the half. Featheroff in double figures. So much for that. How about a 3-ball on the right wing from Kyle Dodson? He's got 9 points, and it's 39-37. Brandy made the extra pass. Kuhn pulls up. It was halfway down, and then it popped free. Johnson looking right the whole time. Well, he had some open space on the left baseline. And then Dodson went to the rim and was a little too soft with it. Trine sends Adam Suzuki back to the scores table. He waits to check in. Quiring waiting there for BW. Lob from Battle underneath, and Featheroff got slapped. That's the 4th foul of the half on the Thunder. It goes on Dodson, who just hit his 2nd. So Featheroff back at the stripe. He's been there a couple of times so far today, 1 of 2. And the first one's up and good. He walks it into the rim. So Quiring back in there. Looks like Kaminsky and Battle check out. Alex Nara also comes onto the floor. Langston Johnson, Ellis Cummings, Will Dodson all leave. So it's now Dixon, Copeland, Craig Lowe as Featheroff puts them both in. Suzuki is back in there. And Jared Dishup rounds things out. 41-37. Miles Copeland with a basket. He's got 9, and it's 41-39. Quiring, the only Yellow Jacket who's played in the game and hasn't scored. He's taking a couple shots as Featheroff raises from deep. Did not get the friendly roll, but a good box out offensively. Alex Nara, the putback. 7 points for him, and it extends the BW lead back to 4. 43-39 as the Jackets stick with that man-to-man defense. In the low post, Copeland buries it in. 43-41. Copeland with 11. Second player in double figures for Trine. He had 9 in the first half. Left wing triple. You bet! Cam Kuhn for 3. 46-41. He's got 8. Dixon between the rings. Driving the baseline. Nope. Right down that right lane. Nothing doing for Copeland. It's 46-41. Featheroff outside the left elbow, and he's starting to get hot. 48-41, and Trine says, okay, can feel it coming. (48-41) Baldwin Wallace as Featheroff puts in a couple more. He's already got 7 in the second half after an 8-point first half. Leads all scorers with 15. We'll step aside. Jackets by 7 on BWYellowJackets.com. Nader and Richardson return for Baldwin Wallace. Largest lead of the game for BW, 48-41. It's because they've started this second half on a nice little stretch. They were down 34-33 in the locker room, but 15 points in the first 6 minutes, and they have heated things up. Dodson, top of the key, goes to his left. Dixon and Craiglow exchange some passing. Harrington back to Craiglow, dumps underneath for Cummings, and he dipsy-doos it underneath. 48-43, Cummings with 4 points in the ballgame. He's played well, but hasn't really found the scoring column much. Quiring slips through the defense and somehow scoots it up and in underneath Cummings' extended arm. Quiring's got 2, and his first basket of the game, 50-43 now. Way off the mark on that 3. Nader gives it up. Kuhn drives. Athletic attempt, it didn't go, but the putback drew a foul. Foul goes on Will Dixon. His second, team 5th, so they are 1 shy of the limit. And it sends Jordan Richardson, the junior from Beechwood, to the free throw line. First one does not fall, so he still has 3 points in the game. BW with wins over Case, St. Mary's, and New Jersey City to open up the season 3-0. It's their home opener here this afternoon. Richardson splits the pair, so he's got 4, and it's 51-43. Trine's only loss was the 8th-ranked team in the country, and they played Ohio Wesleyan very tough, but lost by 7. 3-ball buried in the left corner by Cameron Harrington. 51-46, and that ignites the Trine Thunder bench. First triple for Harrington. Quiring slivers his way through. His pass was deflected, and he picked it up. Nader. Rather, that's Nara that drove. Trine the other way, down 5. And a foul away from the basketball, puts the ball on the baseline. Just the second Yellow Jacket foul of the second half. Goes on Richardson, his second. Suzuki back in there. Here comes Miles Copeland as well. Will Dixon has been awfully quiet at half number 2. He's trying to get going. Had an open look, but could not make it fall from a step inside the perimeter. Has not scored since beating the first half buzzer. 51-46, Baldwin Wallace on top. Already 18 second half points. Kuhn steps back. Deep 2 did not go, and Richardson was the last to touch it as he and Cummings leapt for the rebound. Craiglow and Dodson return, and it's Cummings and Dixon that have a seat. Meanwhile, Tyler Colombo, the freshman forward, returns. 6'6", 195. He is a tall, lanky kid. Went to Tuscarawas Central Catholic. He's from Strasburg, Ohio. This whole game's basically been played within a couple possessions of each other. Both teams have had the lead for a little while. Dodson fakes left. Copeland, and 1. Richardson can't believe it. He felt he went straight up. Copeland's got 13, and 6 of those have come in the second half. Quiring leaves as Jay Battle returns, the sophomore from Lincoln High. A Copeland free throw would make this just a 2-point game as we near the midway point of the second half. Got it. 51-49. Miles Copeland continues a strong afternoon with 14 points. Driving the wide open baseline, but he protected the ball too much. Colombo should have gone more aggressively at the rim, and he's fouled as he tried to put it back up. I'll give him credit for just not giving up on the play. Well, I'm sure he's a little frustrated. He missed a wide open layup. The foul goes on Kyle Dodson, his 3rd. And it's the team's 6th, so they are at the limit. Dodson's got 9. All 3 of them are 3-pointers. He's missed all 5 of his 2-point shots, and he's 3 of 6 from deep. Tyler Colombo hits his first free throw, 52-49. Cummings, Copeland, Johnson, Craiglow, and Dixon out there for the men in navy and gold. Richardson and Nara trying to get some positioning on this upcoming Colombo free throw, which he hits. Back to a 4-point game, and Colombo's got 5 points. Back up top to Craiglow. Battle really pestering him outside the arc. Underneath. Good defense by Richardson. Forces Cummings to just chuck one up. Richardson earned his keep there. Nicely done. 53-49 Baldwin Wallace with 11 minutes left in the second half. Brennan Gulick with you from Ursprung Gymnasium for the first time in 2016. Looking forward to a long and hopefully prosperous season for BW, especially if they keep feeding Battle on the outside arc. 56-49 matches BW's largest lead of the game. Jay Battle with 6 points on a couple triples. And one! Look at Copeland go up and throw it down reverse. 56-51, Copeland's got 16, but that was the most impressive one. The foul on Nara, who just may have found himself on a poster across campus. Wish we had another look at that. That was a tremendous dunk. BW 8 of 18 from beyond the perimeter. Trine's hit 5 of 10 from deep. Both teams shooting it better than 40% in the ballgame. BW's up actually at 47%. Copeland's free throw softly floats up and in. 17 points for Miles Copeland, the sophomore from St. John's. And he is almost single-handedly keeping them in the game. 3-ball top of the arc did not fall down. Everybody fighting for the rebound, and it is off of the Thunder. Alex Nara had the open look, but he couldn't finish it. Copeland leads all scorers with 17. Featherolf leads the Jackets with 15. Dixon has not scored since the first half. He still has 14. Battle right back off the inbounds pass. He had to just put it up into no man's land, hope a teammate could get it after leaving his feet. Jump ball underneath, and the possession arrow favors the Trine Thunder. All of a sudden, Trine is starting to clamp down a little bit defensively. Cam Harrington back in the game. Langston Johnson takes a seat. Halfway through the second half. Baldwin Wallace so far +4. Twins are +5 in the second half after trailing by 1 going into the locker room. Copeland, big second half for him, gives it up. Dishop puts it in. Tough play. 56-54, Dishop with his first points of the day. A fake and a drive, and Colombo was a little out of control, but BW gets the benefit of the doubt. Fouls on Dixon, Kyle Dodson, who just committed his 4th foul of the game, 3rd of the half, and so now he's going to have to take a seat, which is not good for the Trine Thunder. They need the sophomore sharpshooter out there. Meanwhile, Colombo puts in the free throw. It's 57-54. Like Kaminsky back in there as Richardson takes a seat. Craiglow, Harrington, and Dixon, the 3 guards, with Dishop and Copeland underneath for Trine. Good touch from Colombo. He gets them both. 58-54 BW. And Colombo's hit all 4 of his second half free throws. He's got 7. Dixon circling around all the way to the rack, and he puts it in. Tough play from Will Dixon. 58-56, Trine just won't give in. First basket for Dixon since the very last seconds of the first half. Nara couldn't bank it high off the glass. Ripped away by Bishop, the sophomore from Liberty Center. Middle of the paint for Trine as Copeland decides to raise it from deep left corner. We are tied at 58. This was a 56-49 game. It is now 58 apiece on the 9-2 run. Copeland just keeps on pouring him in. He's got 19. Battle. Stutter steps his way. Dishes to Kaminsky for two. Baldwin Wallace decides to take their first time out of the game. It's a 30-second timeout with 8:37 left to go here in the game. All right, Mike Kaminsky with the basket, and he's got 4 on the afternoon. Back in just a moment, getting awfully tight late at Baldwin Wallace. If you tuned in a little bit late, Baldwin Wallace and Trine have played a really nice back and forth battle all game long. Brendan Gulick with you. Baldwin Wallace has shot 50% from the floor in the second half, but Trine has been even better, 56%. So far, the Jackets and Thunder have played an entertaining brand of basketball this afternoon. 60-58, Baldwin Wallace. Dixon almost turned it over. And somehow Trenton, or I should say the Thunder, managed to keep possession. That being said, Craig Lowe misfired. BW's +5 on the glass, though they've turned it over 2 additional times. That one just did touch the paint, and it stays with Baldwin Wallace. 8 3 balls for BW. Battle and Featheroff have each hit 2. 1 apiece from Brandy, Kuhn, Nara, and Colombo. Copeland back in with his 19 points. Leads all scorers. Dixon with 16. Featheroff leads Baldwin Wallace with 15. How about the little touch pass on the inbound? Featheroff couldn't finish from right underneath the basket. And then he got fouled on the way up. The foul goes on Cameron Harrington. It's his first. It's the 8th team foul of the second half. 7:56 left. Baldwin Wallace trying to ride some momentum into their big game next weekend with the Marietta Pioneers. A 3 o'clock tip-off Saturday afternoon here at home. They open up the conference slate with arguably their most important game. If you can beat Marietta at home, you put yourself in a really good spot. I say that because Marietta might be one of the toughest road environments in the conference. That's not to say John Carroll isn't a tough road environment, but with a rivalry like Baldwin Wallace and John Carroll have, as Featheroff puts it in, sometimes you can throw all the ancillary stuff out the window when those two teams play. But Marietta is an intimate, tight gymnasium. It feels like the crowd's right on top of you, and it gets awfully loud. It's a tough place to win a road game. So if you can beat them at your place, especially early in the season, it's going to put you out in front. Featheroff hits both free throws, 62-58 BW with under 8 minutes to go. And he continues his nice afternoon with 17 points. Better than his season average by a couple. Copeland got fouled before the shot, and Baldwin Wallace gets hit with their 5th foul of the half. Goes on Kaminsky, his 2nd. BW didn't pick up a single foul in the first half for 16 minutes. They've got 5 already here in half number 2. Sloppy pass from Dodson. Copeland bailed him out, but missed the shot. Put back up and in by Bishop. 62-60. Bishop has 4. And just in case you are only half listening, it is Bishop with a D, not Bishop with a B. 7:15 left. Good pump fake from Kuhn. He floats it up and in. What a shooter's touch. 64-60. Cam Kuhn stays hot. Give him 10 in the ball game. Copeland's size has certainly helped him, but he shot the ball well from 10 to 15 feet. Even hit one just inside the left corner. He's trying to post up underneath. Bishop ties the game. Beg your pardon, nope. It's 64-62. But Bishop with back-to-back baskets. He's got 6. And now Trine calls a 30-second timeout with 6:42 left. So we'll step aside. Baldwin Wallace by a couple. You're listening to BW Yellow Jacket Basketball on bwyellowjackets.com. Jackets take the floor back, and they have a 2-point lead. And BW raced out to a 7-point edge at 56-49, but Trine just chipped away little by little. And this game, once again, is tight as we get toward the very tail end of regulation. Brandy runs the point. Cam Kuhn in the corner. Slices his way into the paint. Back to Quiring for 3, off the mark. Offensive board, Featherolf no. And it's out of bounds, back to Trine. Nice pass across the court from Kuhn to Quiring, but he couldn't find the bottom of the twine. Dodson, Craiglow, Dixon, Harrington, and Copeland back out there for Trine. BW by 2 is Copeland looking for a 20-point afternoon. Needs just 1 to eclipse that figure. On the right wing with 6 minutes to go. Now Craiglow left side. Deep 3 for Dixon. He clanks it too long. Copeland fought for the rebound, but Featherolf better positioning. Ellis Cummings waiting to check back into the game for the blue and gold. Quiring got a little space, found an open teammate in the corner. Brandy steps back, no good on the 3, but Kuhn kept it alive and slung it up top to Featherolf. Beautiful save. Shot clock resets, and so does the offense. BW trying to open the home portion of the schedule on a high note. Kuhn right down the middle, and he threw it away. Tried to wrap one around to Featherolf. Trying off and running. Dixon contested the whole way, and it just fell off the outside of the rim. BW's defense didn't give him a clean look. Featherolf pumps, finds Kaminsky for 3. And it's too strong. Pulled in that time by Harrington. Under 5 minutes to go. Neither team has scored now in 2 minutes. Lobbed underneath. Dodson is there. And his pass back to Craiglow is pulled in by Brandy and the Jackets. It was 64-62, and Trine called their third timeout at the 6:42 mark. That was 2.5 minutes ago, and we still have the same score. Kuhn down the middle, puts it in. Found a little crease, and he took it. Cam Kuhn with 12. Copeland had it bobbled out of his hands. 4 minutes left to go in the game. Brandy lost his dribble. Kuhn was going to be patient and then decided to go after the rim. The Yellow Jackets commit a foul. It's either on Kuhn or Kaminsky. And it goes on Kaminsky, his third. 3:53 left in regulation. Baldwin Wallace by 4 points, 66-62. Well, Trine was in a 7-point hole, 56-49. They haven't led basically the entire second half. Dixon pulls up and buries it. You can't give a guy like that space. He's only got 4 points this half, but one of the nation's most consistent scorers, not necessarily electrifying, but he's had a pretty darn good ball game at 18 points. Brandy got Cummings to leave his feet. Unfortunately, Nader couldn't hit a three. Trine could tie the game with a bucket. Dixon right down Broadway, and he had it blocked from behind. Then the ball, I thought, went off of Featheroff, but it's going to go BW's way. Huge break. Here comes Jay Battle, the sophomore, to return. Very capable scorer who had 25 against John Carroll as a career high last January. Played in 27 games last year for BW. Had career highs in points and rebounds per game. He's really starting to come around and become a nice player for head coach Tom Heil. Foul, I believe, away from the ball. There was certainly no shot, though it's going to result in 1-and-1 bonus free throws. Goes on Adam Suzuki, his third, team ninth. So Cam Kuhn goes to the stripe where he's hit 11 out of 14 in the regular season entering today. And Kuhn has hit 1 of 1 so far this afternoon. And he'll get another one. Kuhn had 5 at halftime. He's got 8 in the second half for 13 points. And it'll stay that way. 3-point edge with 2:53 left to go in regulation. Craiglow into the corner. Working it around as Johnson threw it up top. Dixon works the high post. He nearly traveled, and then his little runner was too short. Quiring contested it well. BW's defense stepping up in a big way, and they will call a timeout now that they have the ball back. BW is going to burn a full timeout, so we'll take it with them. 2:26 left in the contest. Jackets by 3 on BWYellowJackets.com. Going right down to the wire inside Ursprung Gymnasium. BW 67, Trine 64. Jackets have seen their shooting percentage drop a little bit over the last few minutes, but they've still played well enough defensively, and they have the basketball on the offensive end of the floor late in the game. BW has not trailed the entire second half as Brandy throws up a three and buries it. Two triples for Brandy. He's got 8. And Trine immediately turns it over. Just their 8th turnover, and it was just miscommunication. You could see the look on Kyle Dodson's face. It was not what he intended to do with the ball. 2 minutes to go. It's far from over, but the Jackets are in control at home, looking to go to 4-0. This would be a big non-conference win for them, too. Trine expected to be a very good team in the MIAA. BW trying to protect the ball with a 6-point lead. Quiring for 3. Dagger! Make it 9! 73-64. Brandy inquiring from distance. And the Jackets with their largest lead of the game, 9 points with just 95 seconds left. Trine has no choice but to call for a timeout. It's a full timeout for the Trine Thunder. We will step aside along with them. BW with 2 triples in a row, lead it by 9 at home. Today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game brought to you by Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. The Ohio Education Credit Union. Gain the advantage and build your future today. By the Hoffman Group and the Oswald Company for all of your insurance and risk management needs. And by Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. 2 straight 3 balls from BW, and they lead it by 9 late. Johnson dips it off. It is deflected at the rim. Dixon missed from right next to the rack. And the Jackets have a 9-point lead with just over a minute to go. The next foul would put BW in the double bonus, and Battle, instead of killing some time, tried to drive at the hoop. Trine gets it back. Open 3. Although he stepped out of bounds. Oh, what a mistake. Jordan Craiglow must have grazed the sideline. Chris Nelson was right on top of it. Admittedly, I didn't see it. Craiglow checks out as leading scorer in the ballgame. Miles Copeland comes back in for defensive purposes here. And Copeland will foul Jay Battle. Copeland's third, but now Battle will shoot 2 free throws with 58 and change left on the clock. Copeland's got 19 on 8 of 12 shooting. He's hit all three free throws that he's put up. Will Dixon 9 of 19 from the floor. That's 18 points for him as Battle connects. He's got 7 as it's now 74-64. It's the largest lead of the game for either team. Every single Yellow Jacket has scored today. Great balance led by Jake Featheroff, 17 points. Battle splits the pair. Featheroff's had a nice second half with 9 of those coming since the break. Necessary 3-ball hoisted and misfired. BW's Featheroff gets the rebound, and Battle will cross the midcourt stripe with the lead. Trine will at this point just back off, down 10 with 37 seconds to go. They won't bother fouling at this point. And BW's going to win their home opener. They've got as much momentum as they could have hoped for going into that Marietta game. This was not a cakewalk. Trine is a really good team, and I think you'd expect to see them compete as Quiring chucks one up as your shot clock expires, and what the heck? Puts one in from deep by NBA range. He shot it because he had to. And Quiring's got his second three of the game. He's got 8 points, 77-64. 2 threes for him in the last 2 minutes. To think that this was a ball game where BW had a 66-64 lead, but an 11-0 run as Copeland's deep ball is finally put up and in to end that 11-0 run. BW at this point can just dribble out the clock. Copeland's 3 ball will give him an extra few points. He'll finish with 22, but that's little consolation. Trine was hoping to come to Berea and pick up a nice non-conference win, and the Yellow Jackets said not today. Baldwin Wallace 77, Trine 67. It's a final in Berea. BW shot at 26 of 58, that's 45%. Trine hit 28 of 64, 43% from the floor. The Trine Thunder hit 6 of 13 threes, BW 11 of 26 from beyond the arc. The Jackets were also really good from the free throw line today, connecting on 14 of 19. Trine only shot 3 free throws the entire game. BW was +8 on the rebounding margin. They also had 5 more assists, 2 more blocked shots, and 6 fewer fouls committed. A well-played game by the Jackets, who are off to a really nice start, and they get a nice round of applause in front of their home fans on the far side. Leading scorer in the ballgame was the man who hit that final shot. Miles Copeland finished with 22. He had 7 in the first half, 15 points in the second half. He was really impressive. Will Dixon also had a good ballgame. Dixon finished with only 4 points after halftime. He had 18. Jake Featheroff led the way for Baldwin Wallace. Good effort by him. Jay Battle, Zach Brandy, Michael Quiring all played well as the guards in the ballgame, but it was Quiring's 10 points that probably only reflected the fact he hit a couple of late threes to help seal the game. Maybe a little misleading in that regard. Nevertheless, gotta like the way BW played in critical moments. Cam Kuhn with 11. Jake Featheroff again at 17 and 13 for a double-double. And I think this Yellow Jacket team feels that 2016-2017 could be a special season. So one more time, the final score. It's Baldwin Wallace 77 and Trine 67. Trine falls to 3-1, 3-1 with the loss. Baldwin Wallace improves to 4-0. Appreciate your cover or your joining us here this afternoon. And we'll be back on Saturday when Marietta comes to town. That's a big matchup between the Jackets and the Pioneers. On behalf of BW Sports Information staff, I'm Brendan Gulick. So long from Ursprung Gymnasium. BW a 10-point non-conference win over Trine as they get the home court started on the right foot. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great weekend.